Meet Dr. Aoi Takamoto, a brilliant and highly respected surgeon in modern-day Japan. She is depicted as a dedicated professional, driven by a profound desire to save lives, a motivation that stems from a past life she desperately wants to atone for. In a flashback, it is revealed that Aoi was once Elise de Clarence, a villainous and selfish empress in another world. Her tyrannical reign led to her own demise as she was betrayed and sentenced to death. Reborn in the modern world as Aoi, she dedicates her new life to medicine as a way to repent for her past sins. We are shown her exceptional surgical skills and her compassionate nature as she interacts with patients and colleagues. This second life is Aoi's attempt to make amends for the harm she caused as Empress Elise. Aoi boards a flight to Germany for a medical conference. Tragedy strikes as the plane experiences severe turbulence and ultimately crashes. In the chaotic aftermath, Aoi, despite being injured herself, immediately tends to the other wounded passengers. In a poignant and ironic twist, the selfless doctor who spent her life saving others succumbs to her own injuries after ensuring the survival of everyone else on the plane. Her death in this life is a stark contrast to her selfish demise as Empress Elise. Following her death as Aoi Takamoto, she awakens to a startling reality. She has been reincarnated once again, but this time she is back in her original body as the young Elise de Clarence. She must now come to terms with the return to her past life, 10 years before her fated execution. Armed with the advanced medical knowledge and a changed heart from her life as a modern-day surgeon, Elise is now determined to alter her destiny and the fate of her kingdom. We see her emotional reunion with her family, whom she thought she would never see again, setting the stage for her journey to rewrite her own history. Elise begins by meticulously documenting all the future events she can recall, including plagues, famines, and political strife, creating a roadmap for her actions. Her once haughty and cruel demeanor is replaced with kindness and compassion. This is first demonstrated through her interactions with the household staff. She surprises the maids by remembering their names and treating their minor injuries with her medical expertise, a far cry from her previously tyrannical behavior. This sudden change in character leaves her family, including her initially wary brothers and parents, both surprised and cautiously pleased. The central event of the episode is Elise's audience with the Emperor. She boldly requests the cancellation of her engagement to his son, Prince Lyndon. This audacious move shocks everyone present. To justify her request, Elise declares her intention to become a doctor. Leveraging the memories from her life as a brilliant surgeon, Elise puts her medical knowledge on display. She astutely observes the Emperor's symptoms and correctly deduces that he is suffering from diabetes, the very ailment that led to his death in her original timeline. She provides him with crucial medical advice on how to manage his condition, thereby extending his life and altering a key historical event. Furthermore, she displays a surprising grasp of military strategy. Recalling that her beloved brother died in an upcoming war, she offers insightful and strategic advice on how to avoid the conflict and protect the kingdom, impressing the emperor and his advisors. Intrigued and impressed by her knowledge and newfound determination, the emperor doesn't outright grant her request to end the engagement. Instead, he proposes a challenge. Elise has 6 months to prove her medical capabilities and obtain a qualification. If she succeeds, he will nullify her engagement to the prince. However, if she fails, she must abandon her medical aspirations and dedicate herself to becoming the next empress. Elise readily accepts the challenge, setting her on a clear and difficult path. We are then shown a brief yet significant encounter with Prince Lyndon. While Elise remembers him despising her, his reaction to her is more nuanced, hinting at a blush and a flustered demeanor that suggests his feelings may be more complex than she recalls. This interaction sets the stage for a potentially different relationship between them in this new timeline. Elise arrives at the hospital where she is to begin her apprenticeship. To avoid preferential treatment due to her noble status, she adopts the pseudonym Rose. However, her first day is far from smooth. Dr. Graham, her supervising doctor, is immediately dismissive of her, believing a noble lady is unfit for the grim realities of a hospital. He assigns her to a ward filled with critically ill patients whom the other doctors have essentially given up on, likely expecting her to quit within a week. Undeterred by the squalid conditions and the initial hostility from the nurses and patients, Elise draws upon her knowledge from her previous life as a skilled surgeon. Her first action is to rally the nurses to thoroughly clean and sanitize the neglected ward, emphasizing the importance of hygiene in patient care. This practical and determined approach begins to chip away at the initial prejudice against her. The episode's climax arrives when a patient in the ward goes into critical condition. With no other doctors willing to intervene, Elise takes charge. Drawing on her advanced medical knowledge, she performs a successful emergency surgical procedure, astonishing everyone present. This decisive and life-saving act serves as undeniable proof of her capabilities. Following the successful surgery, the atmosphere in the ward undergoes a dramatic shift. The nurses and other patients who had previously viewed her with suspicion now look at her with awe and respect. Dr. Graham, upon witnessing her skill and dedication firsthand, is profoundly surprised and humbled. He sincerely apologizes for his initial prejudice and offers to become her genuine mentor, recognizing her exceptional talent. Elise, now known as the Lady Saint by those she has helped, has firmly established her place at Teresa Hospital. She has not only saved a life, but has also won over her harshest critics, laying a strong foundation for her new path as a doctor and setting the stage for her future endeavors to reshape her destiny. Having proven her capabilities, Elise is assigned to the fast-paced and demanding environment of the emergency room. Her first day quickly turns critical with the arrival of a patient suffering from a severe chest injury. Drawing upon her advanced medical knowledge from her previous life, Elise swiftly identifies the patient's true affliction: a tension pneumothorax, a life-threatening condition where air becomes trapped in the chest cavity, leading to respiratory failure. She instructs the surrounding medical staff to prepare for an immediate and unconventional procedure, stunning them with her confidence and expertise. With urgency, Elise performs a needle thoracostomy to release the trapped air from the patient's chest. The intervention is a success, and the patient's breathing stabilizes, leaving the other doctors in awe of her skill. Dr. Graham, in particular, is taken aback by her genius-like talent, noting it seems as if medical knowledge is imprinted on her. Later, during the Capitol's festival, a disguised Prince Lyndon, calling himself Ron, is visiting the festival with his attendant. Their evening takes a dark turn when they are accosted in a dark alley by a robber who initially brandishes a knife. The confrontation escalates dramatically when the assailant pulls out a gun and shoots the attendant. The man is rushed back to the hospital, and Elise is once again thrust into the role of a surgeon to save a life. She performs a complex and bloody surgery to treat his gunshot wound. This further solidifies her reputation as a highly competent, albeit mysterious, medical practitioner. Her actions continue to earn her the admiration and blushes of her male colleagues like Dr. Graham. Elise's remarkable surgical successes and modern medical knowledge cause her fame within the hospital to skyrocket. However, her advanced skills also raise suspicions among her peers, who find it difficult to comprehend how a noble lady with her background possesses such profound medical insight. A new connection is teased, as Viscount Venn becomes intrigued by Elise after seeing her distinctively poor doctor's handwriting on a medical diagnosis for diabetes. This sparks his interest in finding the person behind the insightful diagnosis. Meanwhile, Prince Lyndon, grappling with his own health issues, finds himself increasingly preoccupied with thoughts of Elise. He eventually decides to seek medical attention and, through a twist of fate, ends up at the very hospital where Elise is working. To maintain his anonymity, he adopts the disguise of Ron. Upon their meeting, Elise, unaware of his true identity, treats him as she would any other patient. Her professional and caring demeanor as she conducts a physical examination, including checking his hands and neck, leaves the usually composed prince flustered. This intimate yet clinical interaction sparks a new dynamic between them, filled with unspoken tension and a hint of jealousy on the prince's part as he witnesses her dedication to her patients. Elise's sharp medical acumen shines through as she correctly diagnoses Ron's condition as a thyroid issue. She prescribes him medication and advises him to return for follow-up appointments over the next 2 months. This provides the perfect excuse for Prince Linden to continue seeing Elise, allowing their connection to grow under the guise of patient and doctor. During his subsequent visits, Linden, as Ron, becomes more comfortable in Elise's presence. In one particularly charming scene, he even helps her with the menial task of cleaning, leading to a light-hearted and intimate moment where she teaches him how to properly use a mop. These seemingly mundane interactions allow them to see different sides of each other, fostering a sense of familiarity and affection. As his feelings for Elise deepen, Prince Linden contemplates giving her a gift to express his gratitude. Unsure of what she would appreciate, he seeks advice from her older brother, Ren. Ren reveals Elise's fondness for sweets, particularly strawberry cake and pudding, but also mentions her past affinity for jewels and other fine things. This information leaves the prince in a state of contemplation, as he tries to reconcile the image of the kind and hard-working Rose with the noble lady Elise he once knew. He ultimately decides against a lavish gift of jewelry, feeling it wouldn't be appropriate for the down-to-earth woman he has come to know at the hospital. Instead, he considers the simpler, more personal gift of her favorite sweets, a choice that reflects his growing understanding of her true character. Next, we see Elise preparing for a grand ball. In a moment of reflection, she recalls a similar event in her past life, where, consumed by jealousy and arrogance, she embarrassed herself by being unable to dance with Prince Linden. Upon her arrival at the lavish affair, Elise's elegant presence captures the attention of many, including Prince Linden, who has been observing her from afar. He intervenes when other men approach her, showcasing a protective and perhaps jealous side. Their subsequent dance is a stark contrast to her past failure. Her rigorous practice pays off as she moves flawlessly with the prince, leaving a lasting impression on the attendees. A significant portion of the episode focuses on Elise's encounter with Julianne de Child, a woman who was her rival in her previous life. In a departure from her past antagonistic behavior, Elise approaches Julianne with kindness and concern. She notices that Julianne is unwell and, true to her calling as a doctor, diagnoses her with a high fever. Overcoming Julianne's initial reluctance, Elise, with the assistance of Prince Linden, escorts her to the Imperial Lounge to rest. This act of compassion leads to a heartfelt reconciliation between the two, with Julianne expressing her long-held desire to be friends with Elise. The evening takes a dramatic turn when the king makes a significant announcement. To the shock of the entire court, and particularly Elise, he declares his intention to announce the engagement of his son, Prince Linden. While he refrains from naming the bride-to-be, citing her young age, he strongly implies that it is the daughter of a count, a clear reference to Elise. This unexpected proclamation leaves Elise in a state of shock and creates a tense cliffhanger for the episode's conclusion. The king's public statement puts immense pressure on Elise and her wager to become a doctor, potentially jeopardizing her aspirations and setting the stage for future conflicts and challenges.
Before we continue, just a quick reminder to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy seeing content like this. Now, back to the video.
Elise, still navigating the political complexities of the royal court, finds herself in a tense conversation with the king himself. He makes it clear that he sees her as the only one fit to be the future queen, and questions her singular focus on medicine, suggesting she still harbors feelings for his son, Prince Linden. Elise, however, remains steadfast in her determination to become a doctor and uphold the wager she made. The celebration takes a perilous turn when a noblewoman collapses, choking on food. As panic ensues, Elise's medical instincts take over. Realizing the woman's airway is completely blocked, she determines that a cricothyrotomy, an emergency incision into the neck to create an airway, is the only option to save her life. Without hesitation, Elise uses a nearby knife and, to the astonishment and horror of the onlookers, performs the life-saving procedure. Her swift and decisive action prevents the woman's death, but also sends shockwaves through the royal court, who have never witnessed such a medical intervention. Immediately following the procedure, Elise is escorted away by royal guards for questioning. Dr. Graham, accompanied by Viscount Venn, arrives at the palace to examine the patient Elise saved. They are astounded by the expertly performed procedure, noting the precision of the incision and the stabilized condition of the patient. Their investigation into the identity of the person responsible for this medical feat leads them to a surprising revelation. The climax of the episode unfolds when Dr. Graham and Venn are led to the room where Elise is being held. To their utter disbelief, they discover that the brilliant Rose from the hospital and Lady Elise, the prince's fiancée, are one and the same person. The revelation leaves them speechless, finally connecting the dots between the rumors of a medical genius and the noble lady who has just performed a miraculous public surgery. Following these events, Dr. Graham takes some time off, prompting Elise to worry that she has offended him. Concerned, she decides to visit his home. There, she is welcomed by his maid, Yodel, who has been his caretaker for a long time. The visit takes a dramatic turn when Yodel collapses from severe abdominal pain. Elise's quick diagnosis points to a strangulated inguinal hernia, a life-threatening condition requiring immediate surgery. Dr. Graham, witnessing the emergency, is spurred into action. He and Elise work together to perform the necessary operation, with Graham taking the lead and Elise assisting. During and after the successful surgery, we see Dr. Graham's tragic past. He is the sole survivor of a noble family that was wiped out by a devastating epidemic. This personal tragedy is what motivated him to become a doctor, so he could save others from the fate his family suffered. His maid is the only person who stayed with him after his family's downfall, making her his only remaining family. This backstory provides depth to his character and explains his dedication to medicine. Later, Dr. Graham confesses to Elise that her passion and advanced skills have inspired him to redouble his own efforts and studies. He admits his admiration for her talent, acknowledging that she possesses a natural gift for surgery that surpasses his own hard-earned knowledge. This conversation marks a turning point in their relationship, establishing a strong foundation of mutual respect. The episode concludes with the news that Elise is to be awarded the prestigious Royal Rose Medal in recognition of the life-saving cricothyrotomy she performed at the Emperor's birthday celebration. This honor further solidifies her reputation as a skilled medical professional. On a stormy night, in the pouring rain, with Julianne de Child reading a magazine article about Elise's medical achievements, including the news that she is to receive an award of honor. Just then, her carriage is involved in an accident, nearly colliding with Elise's. While Elise is unharmed, her carriage driver suffers a broken leg. Displaying her medical expertise, Elise immediately tends to the driver, and to her surprise, Julianne steps in to assist her. In the process, Elise becomes completely soaked by the rain and begins to feel unwell. Concerned for her health, Julianne insists that Elise accompany her to the Child family estate to recover for the night, an unprecedented offer given their family's long-standing feud. At the Child residence, the two have a heartfelt conversation, breaking down the walls of their past animosity. Julianne confesses that she has been studying medicine, inspired by Elise's dedication and skill. This shared interest helps to forge a bond of friendship between them. A physician who is called to examine Elise is delighted to witness their newfound camaraderie, seeing it as a positive sign for the future of the kingdom. Upon her return home, Elise's family is initially alarmed to learn she stayed with the Child family. However, she reassures them of her new friendship with Julianne, even sharing sweets that Julianne had prepared for her. We now find Elise diligently studying for her upcoming medical certification exam. Concerned that she is overworking herself, her brother Chris insists that she take a break and enjoy the day. Reluctantly, Elise agrees and heads out. However, her dedication to her work unconsciously leads her back to the hospital. There, she unexpectedly encounters Ron, who is actually Prince Lyndon in disguise. He invites her to a play, an offer she happily accepts. During their pleasant outing, Elise is captivated by Ron, noticing the striking similarities between his mannerisms and those of the prince. Their peaceful date is abruptly shattered when a theater catches fire and begins to collapse. True to her nature, a medical emergency curse seems to follow Elise wherever she goes, and she immediately springs into action to help the injured. Amid the chaos, they hear the cries of children coming from the basement of the crumbling structure. Inside, they discover a young boy trapped under debris, with his sister refusing to leave his side. Thinking quickly, Ron instructs Elise to escort the girl to safety while he rescues the trapped boy. Elise successfully brings the little girl out of danger and anxiously awaits Ron's return. During the perilous rescue, the intense physical exertion causes the prince's magical disguise to flicker and fade. After freeing the boy, Lyndon, now partially revealed, hands him over to Elise before making a hasty retreat as his disguise continues to fail him. His quick departure comes just as Chris arrives on the scene, as Elise briefly witnesses Ron's disguise fade. The dramatic events of the day leave Elise with growing suspicions. The combination of Ron's princely demeanor and the fleeting glimpse of his true appearance leads her to start connecting the dots, bringing her closer than ever to uncovering his royal identity. We now witness the prestigious ceremony where Elise is awarded the Order of the Imperial Rose in recognition of her significant contributions to the medical field. The honor is bestowed upon her by a seemingly pleased Emperor Minchester. However, Elise's celebratory mood is tinged with underlying anxiety about an upcoming medical examination. The joyous occasion takes a dark turn when Emperor Minchester suddenly collapses. Elise quickly assesses his condition and determines that he has suffered a heart attack. Her swift medical intervention saves him from immediate death, and he is rushed to the Imperial Hospital for further treatment, though his condition remains critical. Following the emperor's collapse, suspicion and political maneuvering begin to surface. In a significant development, Elise visits Prince Lyndon, who is being held in a captivity facility. During her visit, she witnesses Lyndon reliving a deeply traumatic memory of his mother's death. This shared moment of vulnerability appears to deepen the connection between them. The political machinations against Elise and those aligned with her intensify. As she makes her way to the hospital to attend to the ailing emperor, she is ambushed by assassins dispatched by Lyndon's enemies. Their goal is to eliminate her and prevent her from saving the king, thereby paving the way for their own political ambitions. This leaves us on a tense cliffhanger, with Elise desperately trying to escape from her would-be killers, leaving her fate and the future of the kingdom hanging in the balance. Elise is rescued by Lyndon's half-brother Prince Michael, who was a friend of Elise's in her past life. Having survived, her focus immediately shifts to the critical condition of the emperor. With the monarch's life hanging by a thread, Elise determines that a dangerous and unprecedented surgery is his only hope. In a significant turn of events, Prince Lyndon, though still under house arrest and suspected of poisoning his father, grants Elise the authority to proceed with the operation. This act of faith underscores his trust in her abilities, even as political vultures circle. The surgery is a masterclass in tension. With the highest medical authorities of the kingdom observing, Elise initially struggles to locate the source of the emperor's ailment. Facing the immense pressure of the ticking clock and the risk of losing her patient, Elise's unwavering resolve pushes her to probe further. Her persistence pays off as she discovers and successfully removes a hidden, diseased lymph node, a diagnosis that had eluded all others. The successful surgery not only saves the emperor's life, but also definitively clears Prince Lyndon of all suspicion. Running on pure adrenaline, Elise dashes from the operating theater straight to the venue for the National Physician's Qualification Exam, the culmination of her efforts to annul her engagement. The test is notoriously difficult, designed with questions so complex they are meant to be unanswerable. However, for Elise, with her advanced medical knowledge from her previous life, the questions are an opportunity to shine. She answers with groundbreaking solutions, introducing concepts that revolutionize the examiner's understanding of medicine. Ultimately, she achieves the highest score in the history of the examination, with the only points deducted being for her illegible handwriting. In a tender moment following her academic triumph, Prince Lyndon personally escorts Elise from the examination hall. He expresses his profound gratitude for saving his father, speaking to her not just as a prince, but as a vulnerable son. This heartfelt exchange marks a significant emotional turning point in their relationship. The series concludes with Elise visiting the recovering emperor. In a moment of mutual respect, the emperor acknowledges her incredible skill and the invaluable service she has rendered to the kingdom. While their wager officially stands, his tone suggests he now sees her as far more than a political pawn, but as a brilliant doctor destined to change their world. Elise, having saved the king and proven her unparalleled medical expertise, has finally carved out the path to the future she has so desperately fought for. And there you have it. From a condemned empress to the most brilliant doctor in the empire, Elise truly rewrote her own destiny. What a satisfying journey of redemption, intelligence, and healing. She didn't just save lives, she changed the entire medical field. But what do you all think? What was your absolute favorite moment from the series? Was it the tense surgery on the emperor, or her finally acing that impossible exam? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed getting tangled up in this story with me, do me a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe to Entangled Things for more anime recaps and deep dives. Ring that bell so you don't miss what we get tangled in next. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay entangled.